not happy at all, 10 being the happiest life you can imagine.
I mean, right now, I say it's like a 7, maybe 8.
That's good. That's good. So, like, what is the most important value in your life? Like, what makes you happy? Example, like family, religion, social status.
I think definitely at the front of the list is family, because that's always most important to me. And then I think after that, I think you got to put value in yourself as well. You got to take care of yourself and put attention to your goals and your own dreams and mindsets as well. But I think always, if you have family or if you have friends that love and support you, I think you always should always keep them in your mind and your heart as well. So I keep that important to me, family first.
I agree with you on that. Just a little bonus questions here. If money were a concern, would you still be doing the job you're doing now?
You said money wasn't a concern?
If money wasn't a concern.
No, I would not be doing this job. But I mean, I don't mind working this job. Like, it could always be worse, but I'm not gonna be working this job forever, so it's be all right.
And then if you could give advice to your younger self about money and happiness, what would you tell them?
I would just tell them to be patient and not to rush anything, and honestly, just take everything one step at a time, and just wait your turn. Everything will come into fruition.
That's good advice.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Who am I here with today?
Carly Harrington.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So there's basic tiers of income for individuals. Tier 3 being under 50,000 a year, Tier 2 being 50 through 80, and Tier 1 being above 80. What tier would you fall under?
Tier 3.
Okay. And how would you rate your happiness on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 being none, and 10 being the happiest life you can imagine.
Right. On a daily basis, I would probably say 5. Or maybe, somewhere between 5 and 6.
Oh, okay, that's better. And then, third question, what is the most important value to you? Like family, religion, friends, the car?
I would say advancement, I guess, growth, if that makes any kind of sense. Like,
self-care?
Yeah, right. So caring about those around you as well as yourself, and just trying to make sure everyone's on the best level that they can be on, and they're doing their personal best. So the advancement of you and the people I care about, I guess, would be my biggest motive.
I like that. That's a good answer.
Thank you.
All right, and then just 2 extra bonus questions here. If you could give advice to your younger self, what would you tell them about like money and happiness?
Okay, for money, I would say save your money.
Yeah.
I started working when I was really young, and I didn't start saving until I was probably 18. So definitely start saving as soon as you get a job. And just for life and happiness in general, just remember who you're with at the end of the night, and it's yourself.
Yeah.
Just take care of your own self and make sure that you're happy.
Absolutely. Okay, and then last question is, if money wasn't a problem, would you still be doing the job you're doing now?
No, this is kind of an in-between stage for me. Yeah, I'm in college, so I'm working to get up somewhere where I can definitely be happy every day with my job. So
Absolutely.
it's a good job for right now, but yeah, no, I would choose a different job if I could.
Okay, thank you so much. Who am I here with today?
Melanie Hendricks.
How's it going?
Great. How are you? Is that one of your questions?
No. So there's household income tier of Tier 3 being below 60, Tier 2 being 60 through 100, and Tier 1 being above 100. Where would you fall under that?
For the whole household?
For a whole household.
1.
Okay. Second question is, how would you rate your happiness on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 being none, and 10 being the most happiest life you can imagine.
Oh, probably 6 or 7.
That's
Very generic.
What is the most important value to you? Like religion, family, friends, materialistic values?
Well, God first, family second, everything else.
I like that. I can agree with you on that. If money wasn't a problem, would you still be doing the job you're doing now?
Yes. I love my job. I love the kids. Now, that's changing every day with AI and with cell phones, but yes, I would, even if I were the richest person in the world, I'd probably still do something in education.
She's a good teacher.
Aw, thanks.
And then last but not least, would you give any advice? What would you give the advice for your younger self about money and happiness?
Make sure you save. It went off.
Yeah.
Make sure you save every paycheck something, because one day you may need it. One day you may not have that job. One day your car may break down. But make sure you put something every paycheck away, and stick with stuff. Don't jump job to job, because that also affects your income. And so when you get to be my age, you can retire. So
Well, thank you.
That's it.
Well, here with.
Kevin Turner.
How's your day going?
Pretty good.
That's good to hear. So like there's 3 tiers of household income. Under 60, which is tier 3, 60 to 100, that's tier 2, and then over 100, tier 3 or tier 1. What tier do you fall under?
Personally or family?
Household income. So like,
Okay. So, well, I'd be tier 2.
Okay, that's good. And then how would you rate your happiness on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 being none, 10 being the happiest life you can imagine.
Probably 8.
That's
Pretty
great.
good.
Yeah. What is your what is your value? What is your most important thing to you? Like family, religion, materialistic stuff?
My family, more than
Family?
anything else.
If money wasn't a problem, would you still be in the job you're doing now?
Probably. I've thought about that a lot. Yeah, if I had a lot of tons and tons of money, I would probably still be telling stories to kids.
I like that. Good teacher. And then last question would be, if you have any advice for your younger self about happiness and money, what would you tell them?
Put money away for retirement. Always, no matter what, make sure that you're doing that so that there's, I think, less stress later. And do the same thing. This is the perfect job as far as I'm concerned for being a dad, because I'm done at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I get to spend weekends and holidays with my family. My wife and I make enough money to be comfortable, and I don't know, I think this is fun. So I've got a good life.
I like that. I'm glad you have a good life.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. How's it going?
Why you bring me out here?
I'm actually doing a podcast over my college project of does money equal happiness?
It's a good subject.
Yeah, I had to interview a lot of people, and that was not as easy as I thought it would be.
Okay. What, the talking to people or the subject?
Both. A lot of people did not want to talk about their income level
Okay.
because that was needed as one of the questions.
It's understandable. It's a private thing.
Yeah. But it was also just hard for me because I'm not really a social person. Going to random strangers and just, trying to ask them because, I want to be considerate. A lot of people walking away don't want to, try to chase them down and stuff.
So
And
did you try multiple locations or?
I went all over Pensacola. I tried the beach, got none there. Tried the mall, tried a few stores.
Okay. Well, what kind of questions did you ask them?
Honestly, you want to ask questions?
Yeah,
I'll ask
go for
you.
it. Alright.
Alright, so there's 3 tiers of income.
Okay.
We're gonna do household income because you're married.
Alright.
So there's under 60K, that's tier 3. There's 60 through 100, that's tier 2. And there's tier 1, which is 100 plus. What tier would you fall under?
This household would fall under tier 1.
Okay.
So
Alright, next question would be, on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate your happiness? 0 being none, 10 being the happiest life you could imagine.
I think the goal is to reach happiness, or the happiest you could be. So I would say I'm either 7 or 8.
Okay, yeah. That was common average.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone said between 7 or 8.
Well, you gotta have room for improvement.
No, of course. I mean, it's gonna take a while to find your happiness you could ever find.
Right.
Happiest life you could imagine.
Yeah.
Third question was, what is the most important value to you? Like money, family, religion,
For me, particularly, it's family or whatever. I love family. I want to be with family. That's what my true happiness is. It's family. It's just spending time with family.
A lot of people said that.
Okay.
What I mean, it's really common though, because that's truly what happiness is. You know, being around your loved ones, enjoying memories.
So would you say love and happiness are two of the same things?
I mean, I think they correlate to each other. I mean, happiness has a multitude of factors. A lot of things go into happiness.
Well, I mean, like, what do you see going into happiness? I mean, out of your results that you have from all these interviews, like, obviously you said, family is your number one answer that you were getting, but
Yeah.
what were the other reasons that could be there as factors?
Well, actually, the results after including you, tier 1 concluded to be the happiness with average of like 7.5. Then it went to tier 3, and then it went to tier 2, in which they were all really close together, from the highest being 8 to the lowest being a 6. Like,
So middle class is the least happiest.
middle class is the least happiness in this little scale. I only interviewed like maybe 5 people.
Okay. I mean, still 5, but I mean, how many people did you end up talking to?
I ended up talking to maybe 8, 10.
Oh, so you only asked 8 or 10, and half of them answered you, and was able to do.
Oh no! If that's just how many I got, and I didn't put all together because either some audio issues or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But I tried to talk to maybe, I would say 30 people, and a lot of them shot me down.
Well, that's probably because income is a personal thing. So I'm sure once you told them the part that you're doing or whatever, people don't want to put their income out there.
Yeah.
But
But number one answer, maybe like one person didn't say it, was family. Everyone said family was the most important to them, or some sort of factor in them.
okay, so and then you said that the highest income, household income, was the happiest.
Yeah, that was the highest one of happiness. Of a tier 1 person said 8, and that was
Okay.
it. I mean, they're all really jumped together. There's not like a true big difference on my little scale here.
Yeah.
But actually, going into it, I did some research on some articles prior to this, and they actually say it's kind of the opposite. The lower income families and tiers, they actually have a higher, likelihood of happiness than those who are high income. They reported less likely to be happy.
But that's not what your research showed. Your research showed that the number one highest income showed their happiness. Or no, theirs was just family. But your research, so your interviews and your research, are they matching up?
No, because I think my research was such on a small scale. There's thing like skewed research, and so my sample was way too small to count for everyone else.
Okay. So what would be the counter to this is money, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so what you're saying is that there's more money, there's more happiness?
That's what my little sample showed, but again, I did research on some articles, and prioritizing relationships like family and friends and lower income people had greater happiness than the higher income people who prioritize extrinsic values like power and money and the best of the best.
Okay, so people that go for power and money or whatever are generally not as happy as people that are doing it for love.
Yeah.
So
Doing it for family, friends, other people.
So what would be the reasoning for that? Do you think that just gives them purpose?
I mean, like I said, there's a total huge multiple factors into happiness. And I was reading an article, it was about meaning. Happiness can be divided into meaning, and there was another factor, but we'll just say happiness. So meaning and happiness are different, but they correlate to the exact same thing. So if you don't have meaning in your life and you're just living your life, it doesn't matter what income you're on, you're not going to be happy. If you're not chasing something that you want to achieve and be better on something, whether that's be better with religion, be better with family, more memories, spend time with them, be better in yourself. If you have no meaning in that, you're not going to find happiness. You're just being dead weight living life.
So then would you say that goals is meaning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I have meaning, it's because I have a goal to get to that meaning
Yeah.
or a purpose to go to that meaning. What if I completed all my goals and I'm at true happiness? Do we continue to go on that, or does it like plateau, or can I just not be happier anymore?
So actually, some more studies did find that like as the low income started to gain money, like they tracked them over time, and as they started to get more money, their positive curve of happiness, kept rising. But for like the mid and the high income, as they were gaining more money, they slowly started to plateau and flatten out as a positive curve between money and happiness.
Or I guess because once you have all the money in the world, then you just really there ain't nothing else to chase after that, I guess.
Right, and so that's why like family matters more than what money can get you, because money can't get you a family. But like, think of a time like you were the happiest and you're thinking, oh, me and my family were out doing this one day, right?
Yeah, those are memorable times. So.
Memorable time, memories, that is what you really think. Like, just close your eyes and try to be happy, or think of a happy time.
Alright.
What do you see?
I mean, I'm picturing the other day we walked, down a trail or whatever, us as a family, we took the dogs on a walk,
Right.
And that brought me happiness just because we weren't sitting around doing nothing. So I guess there was meaning to it and purpose, like you're talking about.
Did buying a new truck make you happy?
I mean, buying a new truck, yeah, I did recently buy one, but at the same time, it made me happy at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it was just short, little.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it brought me happiness by getting the truck, like continued happiness.
Yeah.
But I think the purpose that I got the truck for is into reaching those goals or that meaning in life later on, or whatever, that we want to be able to tow, say, like a camping trailer, so we can make more of those memories and have purpose. So I'm doing it for like a long-term goal, really, of something we can do later, have more purpose, more meaning, more love, more happiness.
Right. Exactly.
But the truck itself, I don't think it brought me happiness like I thought it would.
It was
when
a
I
day
got
of
it.
happiness versus, you think of a memory that's forever happiness.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I don't have any love for static, object.
Yeah.
you know?
So, yeah. That's why that, social meeting, friends, all that definitely gets you higher happiness.
Was that all the questions that you asked?
No, I asked 2 more questions, and this could actually help too. So the 2 other questions, or I call them bonus questions.
Okay.
I asked if money was okay. So you're retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think of the last jobs you've been doing in the last 5 years.
Okay.
If money wasn't a problem, would you still be doing those jobs, or would you do those jobs?
No, absolutely not. If money wasn't a problem, is that what you're saying?
If like money, you didn't have a problem with money, would you do the jobs you did?
No, absolutely not. Why would I? I mean, the whole point of doing those jobs and getting the money is so I can provide a life for my loved ones, or so that way I can spend times and creating those memories with my loved ones. So if money wasn't an object and I could just go out and do those things, then why would I work?
Yeah.
I would find purpose here at home. I don't need to find purpose out there working for the man,
Right, and that's kind of like the whole reason I'm doing this project, because my peers, and I think maybe someone even a little older or a little younger than me, my age. I'm 16 years old. I'm almost 17, about a week, and it's starting to come to where I gotta get to the point. I need to go to college. I need to start chasing a job. Well, what do I chase? Do I chase the job that provides the most amount of money, but I'm not happy doing that job? Or do I chase the job that I'm really happy about, but it doesn't give that much money? So
to answer that question, I really think you need to chase what makes you happy, because if you're going to say work or that job, if you're happy doing what you're doing, then it's not really a job.
Yeah.
So I would chase that job that makes you happy, and then that money that you earn out of it, whether that puts you in the tier 2 category as a mid class, or if it puts you in a tier 1 category as like upper class or whatever, at least in tier 2, you have a purpose to move up that scale of happiness as you're growing in that job that you actually enjoy. But what fun is it to go to work and earn that money just so you can come home and be upset?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's really, studies show that it's not happy about money. It's not the money that makes you happy. It's really family.
Right,
memories,
exactly. So then,
meaning.
so based off of that, then you might as well just not even chase the job for the more money.
Right, so I should chase the job for the happiness factor.
If that's what
Especially
your
my
goal
peers.
is to be chasing happiness, then that's what I would chase. The happiness factor, not the money factor or the power factor.
I'm glad that was the results of this study.
Yeah.
This
Well,
whole
I
paper.
mean, all the research that you're doing, is that just here in the States or is that across the world? Like, where do we stand with
I mean,
everybody else?
I researched, read through a bunch of articles. I went through a research article that said, like, they did out of 123 countries, they researched it, and same results that everyone else in the U.S. study too, of as income was rising, happiness was deteriorating, versus the low income, they were happier than the higher income.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what countries those were, because there is lower poverty countries.
Right.
Or you think of like Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever, they're not the same class of living, or even South America, like anywhere in there, like, yeah, there's people that have money or whatever, but are those people just as happy as people that are in a country like, I don't know, say China or here, or Russia, where money is actually at,
Yeah. Well, I think it goes back to that other research and other paper of meaning. So, like, China is like really, really, I don't know how you say it, really developed on that, family, like family sociarchy, you respect your elders, all that.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, they really revolve around family everywhere. Like, throughout public, you could see, like, you have to respect your elders and stuff like that. And if you go down to, like, some Buddha country, I don't know anyone off the top of my head, but they're really on religion, like India, I think they really focus on religion. So again, that's a deeper meaning into it, of that's how that happiness goes around.
So then basically, what you're saying is that meaning is what the happiness is, not necessarily the money. So regardless whether we're poor or we're rich, it doesn't really matter. As long as we find that meaning or that purpose that we're living for, that's what's going to bring us happiness.
I mean, yeah, 123 countries. I bet they did. Obviously, they did the U.S., which is known for pretty high income. You could even, I'm sure they did countries like, down there in Europe, Africa, not so known for their income, or South America, That's so they did all those countries, some countries will be high, some countries will be mid, some countries will be low. Yet studies show the exact same the whole entire time. Income did not change, or happiness did not change with income.
Okay. So then that answers your question then, right?
Yeah.
Does money really bring true happiness?
Research says no.
Okay. Well, did you have any other questions for me, or?
Another one of the bonus questions were, if you could give advice to your younger self about money and happiness, like, what would you tell them?
If I could give advice to my younger self.
Yeah.
I would tell myself to hustle probably more when I was younger. Not that I didn't hustle, but just growing up, that's the time that you need to work those 60, 70 hours a week and hustle. As you start to grow in life and have family and all that, that's not the time, I would think, to do that. So in my instance, like, I kind of joined the military right after high school or whatever, tons of time or whatever, that I was working lots of hours over country for deployments, that type of stuff. Now I missed out on, time with you when you were growing up for those deployments and stuff, but I am happy still for that, because even though I miss those smaller things that I can't go back in time, for or whatever, now I have all the time in the world that I can develop or, dedicate into our family.
Right.
So I would definitely tell my younger self, focus harder, even more than what you did in the beginning.
Right. So you're saying, like, for you, you're telling your younger self, work hard in that beginning, start chasing that money that everyone wants to chase at some point in time, right?
Yeah.
Everyone needs money to just live in the world. So chase that money young, before you have the family, before anything. So then once you get there, once you get to that family level, you can start growing happiness with your family and continue growing happiness rather than the people who want to be rich, billionaires, who start chasing money throughout their whole life and not happy.
Yeah, I don't want to say it like chase money in the beginning.
Yeah.
I want to say you're setting the foundation.
Okay.
You're doing building blocks or whatever. Because there's going to be times in the beginning that you're going to miss that is happiness, that gives you that meaning and that purpose. But if you build yourself building blocks as you're going or whatever, when you get to your 40s, like I am, you can actually spend all that happiness with your family. So, I mean, definitely push hard while you're young, because it definitely gets harder when you're older. You're more tired, but at the same time, go for it. I say give it all, but once you get a family, you need to step back and enjoy and cherish those moments that you have at the time.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Wish you luck with the rest of your research and your report that you got going on here.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Actually, that answers my question of why I even did this whole thing. Income is clearly not what leads to happiness, and there's no really need to chase income.
Yeah, so then I have to ask you the
happy.
same question before you let me go.
Okay.
Or whatever. After all this research, after all these interviews, what exactly, if you could sum all this all up, what would be the statement you would tell yourself? Because you are your younger self right now. So what have you learned from this, and where are you going to try to go with it? What are your results, your personal opinions to it?
Personal opinions to it. I mean, I have the facts right in front of me. I did all the research. I've looked through it, and it's just clearly telling me, stop trying to chase that big job to where you get all the money and you can have all these things, when you're not going to be happy at that point. Because I'm actually a family man. I want to grow and have a family, have kids, enjoy that time with them. I couldn't care if I had a new car or anything like that. So why am I still trying to chase money when I should be? Research is right in front of me. Money doesn't equal happiness. Find that job that makes me happy, and then start growing with a family, and my happiness will be set.
Awesome. I'm glad that you got a chance to do this subject, or that if you chose this subject yourself. It's a really good subject, and glad I got to be a part of it. So thank you.